questions. But do either of you use social media, meaning Twitter, Facebook, anything that gets out there on the internet?
Hello. By choice. I don't do Twitter. I don't do Facebook. By choice. And the reason being is very simple. I don't want to hear that my girlfriend 30 years ago or 40 years ago is calling me to see if we can have a date. So I don't want that. I want to know that yes, the things exist and we should use it, and Facebook is great and Twitter is fantastic and all of this. But when I really think about it, it takes a lot of time and takes a dedication, and I don't have the time.
I'm on Facebook.
Is your girlfriend from 30 years ago?
No, I'm on Facebook, but I do it differently. I won't let my family on Facebook befriend me. I have a separate little nickname page. They call me, and they think I have no friends because there's only 5 people on it. I won't let, and somebody found me from grade school and wanted to be a friend. I had to write to them and I said, I really don't want to mix this, and let's do it on this site, not on that one. But I use with my Facebook page. There's nothing on there that's not already out there, or my press pages, in my my biography. I don't answer political questions or responses. I don't respond to them. It's all business. It's about interior design. It's about architecture. It's about a human life story that I'll post. I do this late at night when I get home. It sort of takes my mind off of a lot of other things. And I find it fun. I didn't think I was going to like it at first. I didn't like the principle of it. But I've met a lot of nice people. When I was on the book tour, it's amazing when the cities you go to and your Facebook friends show up. And I swear that's how I sold a lot of books. I just do think it's how I sold a lot of books to Facebook friends. And but I do think you have to be careful with it. You have to manage it. There's a designer on the West Coast. Nobody knows who it is, but I'm not going to mention anything. But very talented. But I had to block him because his Facebook page is I'm standing in front of the refrigerator and there's only 3 things to eat, or I'm going down to the market and now I'm going to walk my dog. And after that, I don't care about your design then. Just not. You have to be so careful with this because this is your branding. This is what your client's going to read. Anybody can read this, and you want to be serious. You want to be professional, and you can't lose sight. There's a fine line with Facebook that people think get seduced by it, and you have to still keep focused and professional on Facebook. And
I think that Facebook works very well when you have a company. I think for the company, I think the Facebook really works. In terms of my personal life, I'd rather keep it private. It has been fine for many years, so I consider that we'll continue doing the same.
For someone that doesn't have a big body of work, but wants to start developing themselves as a brand, I know you said you're always a brand 24/7, but what are some of the steps that they could do to start to build and get recognized without that body of work?
Well, I think one of the most important things is that you start as a lab. Where is the lab? The lab is your home. The lab is your little place. The lab is your big place. That is the place that you start. That's how I started. I had a room that maybe was the size of the closet in here, but I made it happen. And I called interior design and I said, I have something to show you. By the time they decided to do it, I had moved. But anyway, the fact is that your home is your laboratory, is the place where you're going to experiment, and you don't have a client telling you, oh, I don't like the color. So that's where you have your initial point, your initial starting point. And I think that that's where you can call the editors of any magazine and say, I have something to show you. Maybe it will happen, maybe it won't happen, but so far, I think it has worked for me.
When I left David Easton's office, I really was starting from scratch and had no portfolio except for David's work, and I didn't want to shuffle that around. I was trying to also find out who I was and how was I different from what I've been doing at David's, and how was I going to make my mark. And what I came up with, besides working on my own apartment, was I came up with, I had done some furniture design for another employer. And I thought, okay, nobody's going to want to do a Matthew Smyth line of furniture. Nobody knows what Matthew Smyth is, who cares? So I thought, let me find a little niche within furniture design, so narrow it down even tighter. What's not on the market, people haven't been paying attention to. And at that point, it was andirons and fire tools. I realized there's only very flashy ones or very traditional ones, and there was nothing in between. And I came up with some drawings, and I brought them over to, there was a showroom called Luton Clary Stern in those days, and they loved them, they produced them. And that year, Interior Design gave the top 25 product. And that's where I started getting recognition. And with that, because of that, then the company went out of business, and I was able to buy the rights to the Billy Baldwin collection, and I produced that for a while, and that got me a Nantucket Show House, and it got me a New York Times article, and an article on House Beautiful. And so that was great getting started and getting the kickoff. I mean, I was also very concerned with the Billy Baldwin collection that I had to drop it, because at what point is it not Matthew Smyth's brand, it's Billy Baldwin's brand that promoted. So I saw that just in time, but it got the doors open for me in the beginning. And it could be something, it doesn't have to, it could be, something you're looking for in the industry, whether it's a bathroom accessory or a side table that nobody's thought of. It could be something very small that can get you attention in the beginning and start growing from there.
I just want to add that when you do your own place, it doesn't have to be expensive. It has to be creative, but not expensive. So if you think that you cannot do it, it's because it's, oh my God, I cannot buy that sofa, or I cannot buy this. It's all about paint and a few things that make it different. So it's not about the cost.
Do you think you can get weighed down by a brand? For instance, Frank Gehry gets hired, I think, sometimes to do a Frank Gehry building. Do you think that having something so concise and consistent is detrimental? Or is that why it works?
Well, obviously it has worked for him. So I couldn't dispute that. But what I am, who I am, what I am, it's all about being a tailor. I'm a tailor. When I meet the client, I meet the client about their needs, their thoughts, the things that they want. Don't put limitations. Don't give me limitations. They will come later. So what I'm doing is basically I am just the tailor. And at the end of the day, every project is personalized to the client. So when you talk about Frank Gehry, great. When you talk about people that do the same thing over and over as a formula, great. I have nothing to say about it. But in my case, talking to you people, I feel that you should be personal. And I think everything should be personal. Because every space is different. I work all over the world. I work in Mexico, I work in France, I work in London, I work everywhere. Now I'm doing a lot of work in Abu Dhabi, work in Kuwait, Qatar. Every place is different. The clients are different. They have different needs. Some are very difficult, some are very easy. But the point is that you are working directly with the person.
I think you can get bogged down by your brand if you're young and you're sticking to it. But in Gary's case, I mean, we're seeing him. He built up the brand, and it hasn't just been one direction. He's been building and evolving over the years, and I think that's what's important. I think you have to keep evolving your brand. You have to keep expanding it, thinking outside the box, having it grow, and just getting better at what you do and not settle.
Are there any other companies or artists maybe that you'd like to collaborate with in a different vein?
Well, right now I'm doing a line of furniture for Century, which is in this building, which I'm very happy, not only because what I'm doing, but the relationship that I have with Century. Second, I'm doing a line of fabrics for A&B through Holland & Cherry. I'm doing also carpets for Stark. And I want to, do more. I want to do more in terms of I was talking about being tailor. Sometimes I don't find the right thing. Don't find the right lamp, the right chair, the right this. So I build it. I create it for the client. So that creates a sense of branding, a sense of developing a new line, a new thought, a new thing. And I'm very happy to meet people who are artists, who are doing something, because I learn from them, and they probably learn from me, hopefully. So I'm always open my eyes again, constantly, through travel, through books, through magazines, through fashion. I'm very much into fashion. I read Vogue as any devotee involved in fashion. So I am always looking for color. I'm looking for what the lines are, because all of these translate into what you're going to create next. And this goes for the detail of the curtain, the detail of the shade for the lamp, etc., etc., etc.
You know, I have a wallpaper collection with Schumacher, as well as fabric collection, and 2 carpet collections with Kaiser Martin. But recently I was just approached by something which is very different, and I find it could be a disaster, but it could be fun. But I've been approached by a Christmas ornament company to do Christmas ornaments. And that sparked my interest, you know, more than anything else, because we're just so different. So we'll see where that goes. But when you talk about working in branding 7 days, I met this person on a plane to India, and we're in negotiations now, and it'll probably come out in 2013. But
Could you speak further on what it is that really makes your heart stop, that you know that you're in the zone? What are those times?
I'm a terrible waiter. I say that what makes my heart beat? Life. The day that I wake up in the morning and say, God, what a beautiful day. When you lose that idea and thought, then you're in trouble. I have a lot of faith. I'm a Catholic, and I think my religion has a lot to do with myself and the way I think. But in a way, I feel that has given me a great deal of strength. And in that manner, I feel that I am progressing and I am thinking in a happy terms. If you wake up in the morning and you feel good, you're going to produce something. If you exercise and you feel good, you're going to produce better. So all of this is energizing yourself constantly.
I think for me it's travel. I've become addicted to long trips, faraway places, and getting away from what I see on a normal basis. And I think it's helped me grow as a person and as a designer. And I think it's I can work 7 days a week as long as I know there's a trip at the end of it. I can get through anything. So for me, it's travel.
So before we take questions and answers, just 2 fill-in-the-blank questions. Design is?
Everything.
How we want and how we perceive how we're going to live.
And never underestimate the power of?
Justice.
Sincerity.